Started. Today we're going to spend our practice on the mat entirely. And what I'd like to do is to begin our practice by centering ourselves and really paying attention to what we're bringing to the mat today. So find your comfortable seated cross-legged position. Just settle in. Find your sitting bones. Square those up to the mat. Sometimes it takes a little adjusting and moving the flesh from side to side. We can gently rest our wrists on our knees. And we'll extend our spine, lengthen it. Imagine yourself increasing your height by an inch. Relaxing the shoulders, opening the chest, finding a neutral spine and neck. And begin to be aware of what you're bringing to the mat today. Maybe anxiety, restlessness, fatigue, worry. It's all welcome. Take one more deep breath. And place our right hand on our belly. Again, check to see if your spine is lengthened and tall. And then place our left hand on our chest. And we'll work through a little bit of yogic breathing to center ourselves before our practice. This is a good time to consider an intention for your practice, how you want to show up today, and possibly an intention for your day or your week. And let's start focusing on the breath in the belly. Feeling the belly rise on an inhale and contract and fall on the exhale. Completely filling the belly space. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Our eyes are rested in the socket. Our face is soft. Feeling the rise and fall of the belly. Now bring the focus to the chest, feeling the rise and fall of the chest, expanding, becoming more full on the inhale, contracting, tightening on the exhale. Filling the entire chest cavity with the inhale. Now bringing that breath up into the throat. Inhale to open the throat, to expand it. Exhale to contract. Maybe noticing the coolness of the breath on the inhale and the warmth on the exhale. Keeping that breath high in the throat. Let's take a moment to add all three areas of the breath together. Inhaling, expanding the belly, the chest, the throat, Exhaling, contracting the throat, the chest, the belly. Inhaling, opening the belly, the chest, the throat. Exhaling, contracting the throat, the chest, the belly. Almost as if that breath is flowing up the spine on the inhale, down the spine on the exhale. Again, take a moment to consider your intention for your practice today. Finding comfort and ease in your own body. Let's take one more breath here. And sighing with an audible sigh through the nose. One more time. Inhaling completely. Sighing with an audible sigh on the exhale. And then gently bring your wrists back to your knees. And let's begin to open into the neck, the throat, the shoulders by glancing over the left shoulder, really pushing that chin beyond the left shoulder, opening up the space between the ear and the right shoulder. And release it, glancing over the right shoulder, really pushing the chin and the face behind and beyond the right shoulder. Left, remembering that breath. And right. And a big inhale and an exhale. And let's lift our chin towards the ceiling. Bring that bottom lip up over the top lip, stretching into the throat. And then using our chin as a guide, completing a clockwise rotation to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Finding the farthest reach of our neck, really slowly. Down to 4 o'clock. And our chin comes to our clavicle at 5 o'clock. Really finding that edge, the deepest stretch. 6 o'clock, chin to chest. 7 o'clock, chin to clavicle. Really bringing movement into the neck, releasing tension. And now let's complete a counterclockwise rotation back to 11 to 10. 9 o'clock, pushing that chin behind the shoulder. 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock, chin to clavicle. 6 o'clock, chin to chest. 5 o'clock, clavicle. 3 o'clock. Completing the rotation, chin to 12 o'clock. And now bring your face to neutral. With the shoulders, we're going to do some clockwise and counterclockwise rotation. Again, reaching that fullest extent. We'll start bringing the breath up on the inhale, shoulders up, exhaling as we bring them down and around. Inhaling, bringing them up, exhaling, back, down, and around. Really trying to squeeze those shoulders forward and back, up to the ears, and back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And let's work on counterclockwise rotations with the shoulders. Again, we're doing this slowly, with intention, finding the deepest stretch, opening up these areas of the body that get neglected. Let's take one more full rotation. And we'll bring our right elbow across our chest, reaching towards the left with the left hand grabbing the elbow. And let's pull into that elbow, opening up the right shoulder blade. And it might take a little bit of adjustment to find that stretch so you can feel it under the shoulder blade in the mid to upper spine, pushing that right arm to the left side and release it. Opposite side, left arm crosses. Really using resistance that we're creating with our hand and our arm to increase that stretch. Lacing the fingertips together, palms forward, pressing forward, separating the shoulder blades, dipping the chin to the chest. And this is a good time to check into your posture to make sure that your spine is tall and extended. We're pushing forward, opening space between the shoulder blades, tucking the chin. One more deep breath here, and we can release it. And we'll work on putting lotion on our back. So we want to be able to get our hands to reach the farthest extent of our back. So taking the right elbow up, reaching with the left hand, moving it a little bit closer behind our head. And our right palm is on the back of the neck or the upper back, right in the center. Reaching behind with our left hand, fingertips, trying to come closer together. Breathing deeply into this. And feel yourself relaxing a little more with each exhale. Trying to get those fingertips closer together. One more breath here and release it. Same thing, opposite side. Left elbow comes up, reaching over with the hand to the elbow, moving that elbow closer, and then coming from underneath with our right hand, pushing those fingertips closer together. Checking into our posture, tucking that belly button closer to the spine, keeping that core engaged. And let's release it. Shake your arms out, and then let's work on the space between our shoulder blades. So taking your palms, pushing the walls to the side, farther apart, and then reversing it, squeezing those shoulder blades together as if you're holding a pencil between your shoulder blades so tight that you can snap it. Release and push to the walls. And then contract and pull those shoulder blades tight together, really flexing those muscles. Tucking your belly button close to the spine, extending the spine tall. And then we can relax and release. Okay. I'd like to work a little bit on some hip opening exercises. So let's keep our legs crossed in front of us and bring our right, I'll face the camera so you can see, our right knee centered in front of our hips. And this right foot can come to the side of the hip, or it might be underneath the leg depending on your hip flexibility. Left leg comes on top. And then find the form of the pose that works for you. If you can settle in and get those knees stacked on top of each other, you can work towards that. You might feel more comfortable keeping your knee up. And we're really working on these hips. So see if you can get those sitting bones square to the mat, that you're not leaning more on your right side or your left side, trying to get those square to the mat. And let's sit here and see if we can find relaxation in these hip joints. Again, our spine is tall and extended. Our chest is open. The muscles on our face are soft. Our hands are gently draped over our feet. And with each exhale, just allow those hip joints, the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons to relax. And you'll notice that they instantly start tensing up and tightening. And make note of that and allow the breath to release them. Finding your edge with a flat spine will be hinging at the hip with a flat chest coming over our knees. So again, find the form that's working for your body, that edge. Never working into pain. Discomfort and work is your friend. Pain is not. And you can rest the head over the knees. Again, noticing the tightening that naturally happens in these hip joints. Using the breath, allowing them to release. Take one more deep breath here and release the pose. And then we'll reverse our leg. So this time the right leg comes to the top. We might want to stretch out those knees, put some movement back into them, and then bring the left knee directly in front of your hips. The right leg comes over, trying to stack those knees on top of each other. And again, squaring up those sitting bones, you'll notice that your right hip wants to raise. Really work on pushing that down so you can feel both of your sitting bones on the mat. Extending the spine, pulling that navel in, resting the hands gently on the feet, using the breath to relax tension that builds in the hips. And our body listens to the messages the mind sends it. And if the mind is sending messages of safety and ease, the body follows suit. Okay, with a flat chest, hinging from the hips, bringing ourselves over our knees to extend the stretch into the hips. Notice also that that right hip is going to want to raise. So work on keeping that as low to the mat as you can. Finding softness in the muscles of the face. Finding softness in those hip joints, allowing them to relax. And release. Okay. Let's bring our leg out a little bit more on the left side, grabbing our right foot with our left hand. And if you're able to, bringing that foot into the crook of the elbow. And again, you're going to want to make sure that your spine is tall. And then bringing the right arm around as if our shin, our calf is a baby, and we're just going to cradle that baby. Pulling that shin higher and closer to our chest, making sure that we're not hunching forward. Checking to make sure that spine is tall and the chest is open. Breathing into the stretch, bringing that shin closer. You can start bringing a little bit of movement into this hip joint, loosening it up, opening it up. And if it helps you, you can also extend that leg to the side or straight out. Get a little bit deeper into that movement of the hip joint. Again, raising the foot, keeping that shin high. Our spine is tall. And then let's pull that shin in closer again before we release it. Okay, releasing the foot to the thigh, pressing down with the knee, and bringing that knee up to the chest. Our spine is tall, pressing that knee down, and pulling that knee back in. Okay, release it, shake it out a little bit, and we'll bring this left leg in. So again, we're finding this baby, our shin, our calf, We're going to put it into the crook of our arm. So bringing that foot into the elbow, or if it's in your practice, to your hand. So find the form of the pose that's working for your body. The left arm comes around the left knee. We're just going to rock that baby. Let's bring it in a little bit tighter to our chest. Checking to your posture to make sure your spine is tall. Lifting the foot, keeping it high, and really bringing that calf closer to your chest. And then let's just start moving from side to side. Again, releasing into these hips, loosening up that joint, bringing some movement into this joint that we don't normally get, trying to keep fluids and natural lubricants moving in those joints. Okay, one more time, bring that shin close to the chest. Should feel a deeper stretch here. And then release the foot to the thigh. And press down on the left knee with the left hand. And then pull it up and push it down. Okay, let's take a minute to bring our soles of our feet together, pulling them in as close to our body as we can. Checking back into our posture. Our sitting bones are level to the floor. Our spine is tall and extended. Bringing the elbows to create some resistance to the knees. Pressing down. And again, your spine is flat. We're not hunching over to the shoulders. We're keeping that spine tall. And if you're comfortable, continue to bring a flat chest closer to your feet. Breathing deeply into this stretch. Noticing how much tension naturally builds up in our hip joints. Especially, I know I've got a couple of running friends in class today that might notice a lot of tightness building in hips. Okay, let's release it. And you can move those a little bit. Bringing the left leg forward, right foot comes over the left leg. And we'll work on a little bit of spinal stretches now, making sure always that we extend the spine, growing the spine before we start a second movement, twisting to the side. One way that you can ensure that you're protecting your low spine if you have low back issues, palms together, our fingertips come to our chin, our thumb comes to the center of our chest, and we keep this here, and we'll twist to the right side. And you'll notice that what this does is it keeps that twist in the mid to upper spine. It won't allow you to go farther into the pose. So if your low spine is healthy, you can drop your hands, wrapping your elbow to the outside of your right knee, and you can feel that twist a little bit deeper into the spine, a little bit lower. But if you have those issues, again, it's always a good reminder to keep fingertips to chin, thumb to the chest to keep that movement into the mid back. Okay, release it. This time our left foot comes over the right. We're squaring up those sitting bones, extending our spine, and fingertips to chin, thumbs to chest, twisting towards our left side, keeping that spine tall and extended. And if you're comfortable, you can drop your elbow to the outside of the knee and move into the pose more fully, gazing over that left shoulder. Again, always wanting to bring breath into each move to allow more flexibility and more ease and relaxation. Okay. Coming to our knees, we'll work a little bit on cat-cow. Our wrists are stacked directly below our elbows, directly below our shoulders, knees below the hip, And the movement in cat-cow comes to the mid to upper spine. We never want to dump deep into the spine, keeping that movement into the chest. So elbows are tucked close to the body, facing the wall behind us. We'll open up with an inhale, lifting the chin and trying to press the chest in between the arms. And you'll notice that this really protects your low back, and it also builds strength between the shoulders and in the upper back. Okay, releasing it again. We're lifting mid to upper spine, protecting that low spine, tucking our chin closer to our chest, stretching out space between our right and our left shoulder blades. The elbows are facing the back wall, tucked close to our body. Inhaling to cow, dropping that chest in between the shoulders, in between the elbows, pushing it down as you're lifting the chin. And on an exhale, coming back into cat, lifting the mid to upper spine, tucking the chin closer to the chest. Now bringing our arms out in front of us. The laces side of our feet come to the mat, stretching into an extended baby pose, lowering the hips into that space created between your heels. Finding softness in the muscles in the face, deepening the breath, and lowering the forehead to the mat to center and ground. Palms to the side of the hips, facing the ceiling, coming into baby pose. And here we're just allowing gravity to do the entire work of relaxing the body. Okay, release. Coming back up. This time we're going to take our hands, our fingertips, place them towards the knee. So the inside of our elbow is towards the wall in front of us. And we'll separate our knees and lower our hips to the space between our knees. You can tuck those fingertips a little bit closer. So find the space that's comfortable for you. And then lower the hips with each exhale a little bit farther. And then opening up the chest, lifting the chin. And we're opening up the throat in this pose, opening up the chest, and digging deep into those hips. Okay, reverse the hands and we'll bring our forearms to the mat. And if you're able, find a little bit more adjustment between those knees and you can open that space a little bit farther, lowering the hips closer to the mat. Breathing softness into this pose. Okay, let's release it. Bringing our knees closer together. Reaching back to our heels. Placing our forehead to the mat. Pulling space between our shoulder blades as we lift our spine into a rabbit pose. So we're creating a lock between our hands and our heels to help us be able to get a full measure of the stretch. Returning to the breath to bring softness and ease into the pose. It's an interesting dynamic to find softness and ease in a point of tension in a pose. Okay, release it. Returning to our knees. And let's keep our knees hip distance apart, finding a neutral spine. And a good trick to find a neutral spine is if you can feel that notch on the front of your hip and the notch on the back of your hip, they should be level. So for me to find neutral spine, I always have to tuck my pelvis a little bit more forward. So it feels unnatural and I'm opening up my pelvis more towards the front, but that helps me keep a neutral spine. And if you're interested in knowing some more, I can show this after class a little bit too, about another way to find a neutral spine. So finding that neutral spine, extending our spine, lengthening it, trying to increase our height by another inch. We're opening up the chest, and we'll do a modified camel. So on the inhale, bringing the arms up, reaching our palms towards our back pockets, sliding our hands down our back pockets so that they're placed flat against our glutes. Open the space into the chest by squeezing the shoulder blades together. And now press those palms into your glutes, pushing those hips forward and raising the chin. Again, opening into the throat and the chest. And this pose reverses a lot of that movement our body does as we're always on our phones or our laptops or closed in. Okay, release it, sliding those arms back out. Let's shake them out a little bit. Taking another good breath here. And we'll do that one more time now that you're a little more comfortable with the pose. Again, finding your neutral spine so the notches in our hips are level, extending the spine, tucking that navel towards the spine, opening the chest as we lift our palms, reach behind us, and slide those palms into our back pockets. Squeezing shoulder blades together, keeping that navel tucked towards the spine, opening the chest, trying to get those elbows closer together, lifting the chin. One more breath here and release. And then come back into your extended baby, reversing that stretch. Forehead to the mat. Release. And then we'll come to a seated position, legs straight out in front of us. We'll just work on basic staff pose. And while we're doing this, we'll work on pelvic floor for a minute. So move that flesh out from side to side so that your sitting bones are square to the mat. Our heels are flexed, toes facing the ceiling. Our knee pulls towards the thigh. So we're flexing our calves, knees pulled into the thigh. Our spine is tall and extended. Sitting bones are squared to the mat. Our chest is open. And then gently place the palms to the sides of our hips, just resting there, not holding our body's weight. And then let's pay attention to our pelvic floor for just a moment. And we'll imagine that our pelvic floor is an elevator, and we want to take that pelvic floor from the lobby level to the 10th floor. So on the inhale, we're going to lift our pelvic floor from lobby level to the first floor, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and we're going to hold it on the 10th to the very top of the 10th floor. Okay, and we'll release it 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, lobby level, and then we'll take it to the garage. So let it completely relax. Okay, loosen up and shake out a little bit. Holding staff pose really creates a lot of tension and work in your body. So we'll relax, take a breath for just a second here. And again, get into staff pose, flexing the heels, pulling the kneecaps into the thigh, sitting bones square to the mat, spine is tall extended, chest is open, palms rested gently to the mat, taking our elevator from the lobby, first floor, second, third, lifting it higher, fourth, fifth, we might have missed third, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. And we're just going to hold it at the 10th floor. And then releasing it 10th, 9th, 8th, breathing, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, lobby, and now drop it to the garage. Good job. Okay, shake it out a little bit and we'll move into a forward fold. Again, rooting those sitting bones, and if you need to, moving the flesh from side to side a little bit. We'll inhale, reaching up, and exhaling with a flat spine, hinging from the hips, reaching forward towards the toes. And it's good to imagine the flat of your chest falling over your thighs. And you always want to keep that spine flat, hinging from the hips, not rounding into the pose. Once you find support and stability, you can relax yourself into the pose a little bit farther. But you never want to come over in a rounded spine. Okay, let's focus on our breath for a moment here. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling, lowering ourselves a little bit farther into the fold. Inhaling. Exhaling, lowering ourselves a little farther into the fold. Okay, if your low spine is healthy, you can return to a sitting position with a flat spine. Otherwise, you can use your hands to support yourself as you're coming back up. And we'll try that one more time. And this time I'd like to hold this pose for 2 minutes. And I'll give you a few cues when we're going into this, and then we'll just have 2 minutes to allow ourselves to come more fully into the pose. Squaring those sitting bones, pulling the knees into the thighs, extending the spine. Our navel is tucked in. Inhaling as we're reaching up. Exhaling, hinging from the hips with a flat spine, reaching ourselves forward. Coming slowly into the pose. And when you find your edge and your support with your hands or with your arms, then you can allow your body to soften and melt farther into the pose. And we'll start our 2 minutes. And during our 2 minutes, I'd like you to really concentrate on your breath and allowing the exhale to lower you a little bit farther into the pose with each breath that you take. Checking areas of your body for tension that builds up in your hips, the backs of your legs, even that furrowed brow can be relaxed with the breath. So trying to find as much ease as you can in the pose, allowing the breath to lower you farther into the pose. And you might be interested in tilting your chin a little bit closer to the chest to feel a stretch in a different part of the legs and the spine. Breathing slowly, lengthening that breath. And maybe take a moment here to Return to your intention for your practice today, or your intention for the day. Okay, let's release out of the pose on an inhale. Again, if your low spine is healthy, flat spine lifting out of the pose. Otherwise, you can use your arms to support yourself coming up out of the pose. Coming to our backs, bringing the soles of our feet together. Allowing gravity to let our knees lower closer to the floor. Trying to release all effort from the body, all tension in the muscles, allowing the earth to completely support you, and allowing gravity to ease you more deeply and more fully into the pose. Our palms are facing the ceiling, our arms are away from our body as if we're in Shavasana. Finding comfort and relaxation in the face. Lengthening the breath. Let's take one more breath here. And exhale with an audible sigh. Feeling all of that tension and stress melt away with the breath. Okay, straighten the legs out. You might need to readjust the hips a little bit. And we'll work on some spine openers. So our arms come straight out away from our body. And let's take our right ankle, crossing it over the left ankle, and lifting our right hip towards the left side, gazing over the right fingertips. Begin to bring some movement into the spine. Release. One more time. Inhale, twist to the left, gaze to the right. You'll notice that your right shoulder wants to lift off the mat. Just press it back into the mat. Release. Uncross the legs. This time, the left ankle crosses over the right. We'll twist towards the right, gaze to the left. Inhale, twist right, gaze left. Keeping that left shoulder pressed into the mat. And release. Inhale, twist right, gaze to the left. And release. This time our right heels rest on our left toes. We'll twist to the left, gaze to the right. Inhale, twist left, gaze right, pressing that right shoulder into the mat. And release. On an exhale. Inhale, twist left, gaze right. And release with an exhale. Okay, this time left heels come on top of right toes. We're twisting to the right, gazing to the left. Inhale, twist right, gaze left. Keeping that left shoulder pressed into the mat. Release. Inhale, twist right, gaze left. And release. Okay, uncross the feet. Bring the right foot to the inside of the left knee as if it's attached with Velcro, and we'll twist left, gaze right. Inhale, keeping that foot attached to the knee, twist left, gaze right. Pressing that right shoulder into the mat, and then we'll point the left toes. Breathing in the twist. Exhale to release. Inhale, twist left, gaze right. And release. Straighten the legs, readjust if you've gotten out of center here. Left foot attaches to the inside of the right knee. We'll twist right, gaze left. Inhale, twist right, gaze left. Keep the left shoulder pressed to the mat. Point the right toes. Really trying to get that left knee closer to the mat. Exhale to release. Inhale, twist right, gaze left, left shoulder pressed to the mat, right toes pointed. Release on the exhale. Okay, inhale, cross our right leg, our right foot over the left knee, and we'll twist to the left, and you'll notice that your right foot will slide out from under the knee, and that's what you want it to do. Okay, twist to the left, inhale left, gaze right, pointing the left toes, pressing the right shoulder to the mat. And if you're able to, reach down with your left hand to the right knee, using a little lock here, a little bit of resistance to press down a little bit farther with your hand. Breathing softness and relaxation into the pose. Okay, you can stay here, or if you need to, we'll release it. And we'll do one more. Inhale, twist left. Gaze right. Reaching down, pressing that right knee closer to the mat. Pointing the left toes. Right shoulder stays pressed to the mat. Okay, release. This time our left foot comes over the right knee. And we're going to gaze to the right, or we're gazing left, twisting right. So inhale, twist to the right, gaze to the left. And we'll release. One more time, twist to the right, gaze to the left. Going to okay, release. Bringing our legs back straight down. This time we'll take our flexed heel, raise it straight out from the hip. Adjust yourself if you need to. And we'll cross the straight leg, right foot to the left hand. So we'll twist to the left, gaze to the right, pointing the left toes, keeping the right shoulder pressed to the mat. And depending on your flexibility and where your body is, you can reach down to the toes, or you can release back up, and we'll do it one more time. And if you'd like to just stay in the pose for a longer period of time instead of releasing between, you're welcome to do that. Inhale, twist left. Gazing right. Pressing the right shoulder into the mat, pointing the left toes. Really breathing, trying to find that relaxation. And release, raising the heel back up, straight out from the hip. Flexing the heel, we'll lower it very slowly. Engaging that core, tucking that navel to the spine, relaxing and softening the face muscles. Trying to find as much softness in your arms, your shoulders, your neck, your face as possible, allowing your core to completely engage. You're lowering this leg. Again, using that breath. Inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly. Softening the face, softening the fingertips even. Finding complete relaxation in the arms, the neck, the shoulders, the face. Okay, when that heel has come to the mat, you can allow your feet to fall out to the side and completely relax for just a moment. Big breath. Inhale, raising the left leg straight, flexing the heel. On the inhale, twisting to the right, gazing to the left. Pointing the right toes. And again, you can reach down and grab those right toe or left toes with the right fingers if you like to. And you can stay here holding this pose, or you can release it, leg back up. Inhaling, twist one more time. Left shoulder stays pressed to the mat. Right toes are pointed. Our breath is soft. And release it, heel towards the ceiling. Flexing the heel, pulling that kneecap towards the thigh, lowering it slowly. Finding that softness in your arms, your shoulders, your face. Tucking the navel close to the spine. Using the breath to find strength, steadiness, control. Soften the muscles in the face, the fingertips, the arms. Returning to the breath. And when that heel is to the mat, return to Shavasana, palms up, and allow yourself to relax for just a moment. Take one more breath here. And we'll open up into the hip this time. So I'll cue some modifications. There are a lot of variations to this pose. So in basic T form, arms coming straight out from the shoulders, bringing your right foot in, reaching to the inside, the arch of your foot with your right hand. And you can just feel this stretch that you already are feeling in the pose. And if this is the measure of the pose that's working for you, stay in this pose. Otherwise, if you're able to, straighten the leg as much as possible. Some of you may be able to get that leg a little closer to straight. Some of you may be able to straighten it completely. And maintaining control, bringing the right arm and the right leg to the right side, keeping that left shoulder pressed into the mat. Again, finding strength and control as you're opening deep into this hip joint. And you might have that leg flexed, so find the edge that's working for you, allowing the breath to bring softness and relaxation into the pose. See if you can find complete bliss in this state of tension. Okay, let's release it. You can bend the knee and we'll bring it back up to let it rest for a minute. If your wrist is feeling tension or stress, you can move it around a little bit. And again, reaching down to the arch of the right foot with the right hand, extending that leg as straight as you can get it, keeping the left shoulder pressed into the mat, opening up to the right side, really digging deep into these hip joints. Keeping that breath steady, lengthened. Almost sending messages to that hip joint that it's safe to relax and release and open up. Finding that edge, the measure of the pose that's working for you. Regardless of the form of the pose, if you're working to your edge, the benefit is the same. Okay, let's release it. And then lower the foot and the hand to the mat. And we'll work on our left side. So pulling that left knee in, reaching down to the arch of the left foot with the left hand. Straightening the leg. Keeping that right shoulder pressed to the mat. And you'll also notice that one side is more flexible than the other. My right side is definitely more flexible than the left. Using the breath, slowly releasing this leg out to the side. Keeping that right shoulder pressed to the mat. Softening the face, finding your relaxation here. I know it's hard. Let's release it back up. You can bend that leg a little bit, rotate the wrist, rotate the ankle. And we'll work on it one more time, reaching to the inside of the left foot, straightening the leg as much as possible, keeping that right shoulder pressed to the mat, lowering the left leg to the left side. Allowing micromillimeter of release with each exhale. This is a lot of mental work. And release. And lower the foot and the hands together. And bringing our knees to our chest. Releasing some of that tension that we may have built up into the low spine. Finding complete relaxation here. And if you'd like to adjust that stretch, you can raise your face towards your chin. And release into Shavasana. And I'd like to do a body scan meditation. And it'll probably take 7 to 10 minutes. So if you need to get a drink or adjust yourself here, it's a good time to do it. When you're ready, come to your mat in Shavasana, lying on your back, allowing your feet to fall out to the side, palms facing the ceiling, allowing space between your arm and your body so that air can come into your armpit. Take a moment to return to your intention for your practice today. Adjust any last things that need adjusting so that you can become complete in your Shavasana. Remembering to always return to the breath, breathing in and extending and lengthening the exhale. With your next inhale, gently reach the spine taller, settling in a little more fully into the mat. And on your next exhale, allow all muscles, ligaments, tendons, tension to completely relax and fall away. Lengthening the breath. Trying to get that exhale twice as long as the inhale. Allowing your shoulders to soften, the jaw to relax, the eyes to sink heavy in the socket. Bring your awareness to the crown of your head. Pay attention to whatever it is that you happen to be feeling at the crown of your head. Whatever is present for you is okay. Maybe you can feel the skin on your scalp, the temperature of the air, your hair. There's no right or wrong. Just tune into whatever is physically present for you. Allowing a softness and a relaxation to come to the crown of your head. Bring your awareness to your forehead and your brow, tuning into whatever is present there for you today. You may notice the temperature of the air, maybe some tightness in the brow. There's no right or wrong. Just tune into whatever is physically present. Allowing the breath to soften and relax, to become more at ease in your body. Paying attention to your eyes and your cheekbones. Even with your eyes closed, you may notice light movements. Paying attention to the tip of your nose, your upper lip. Feeling the breath coming in through the nasal passages. Noticing the cooling of the air as it comes in, the warming of the exhale. Bring your awareness to your mouth, paying attention to your lips, your jaw, your tongue. You may notice the moisture or how the tongue is resting, and possibly tension or slack in the jaw. Notice what is present and allow the breath to relax and release. Bringing your attention further into the neck and throat. Again, noticing tension or movement of the body with the breath. And there's no right or wrong. Your experience is for you. Tune into the movement in the throat, the sensation as the breath passes through the throat. Allowing the breath to bring softness and relaxation and ease into the throat. Bringing your awareness to your shoulders and your shoulder blades. Maybe noticing movement with your shoulders raising with an inhale, falling with an exhale. Allowing the breath to relax and soften. Continue to bring your awareness down to your upper arms and your elbows. Paying attention to what is present for you today. Maybe you're noticing the point of contact to the mat, your shoulders or your elbows. Allow the breath to relax. Continue to the forearms and the wrists. And the hands and the palms. The fingers and the back of the hand. Noticing points of contact where the hands may be touching each other or resting in the lap or lying on the mat. You may notice that the temperature of the air feels different on the back of the hand compared to the palm. Allowing the breath to ease the tension of the hands, the wrists, the arms. Bringing your awareness back up to the chest. Just pause here for a moment. Tuning into the body breathing. Noticing the rising and the falling, the rhythmic expansion and contraction, and the natural movement of the body breathing. Bringing your awareness into the abdomen and the stomach. Notice the sensations of the body breathing in the belly. And allow your awareness to rest here in the belly for a moment, feeling the rising and falling of the breath. Moving to the hips, the pelvis, and the butt. Maybe feeling the point of concentration where your body's lying on the mat. Taking a moment to feel what is present. Bring your awareness to the thighs, the knees. Again, noticing points of contact or tension, fatigue, anything else that is present here in your body. Allow the breath to wash relaxation into your legs, bringing that relaxation into the calves, the shins, the ankles, noticing what's present for you. Perhaps you're finding more ease, more relaxation, more calm, stillness. Whatever is present, be with it. Finally, bring your awareness to your feet, going over the heel, the arch, the ball of the foot, the toes, and the top of the foot. Tune into the points of contact where the feet are touching the ground, being supported by the earth. And again, allow the breath to offer relaxation and ease to your feet. Now take a moment to imagine the entire form of your body together, your whole body from head to toe. Pay attention to the energy as it's flowing and circulating, flooding your system with relaxation and ease. And finally, take a moment to tune in again to your intention for your practice, your intention for your day. And allow yourself to take 3 deep, expansive, relaxing breaths. And slowly begin to bring movement back into your body, wiggling your fingers and toes, your wrists and ankles, pointing and flexing and rotating, reaching your arms over your head, stretching from your fingertips to your toes, feeling alive in your body. And when you're ready, return to a comfortable seated cross-legged position, bringing your hands to heart center. And as we end our practice today, I offer gratitude for joining me, gratitude for your friendship, your kindness, your generosity. And my wish for you today is that you feel joy. Namaste. Thank you. I guess we're headed out for breakfast in just a minute. I hope your practice was good. Love you.